Hey, Steelers Nation. We're back with an exclusive video packed with the latest updates on our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll never miss any exclusive updates or exciting Steelers news. STEFFON DIGGS has officially turned up the heat, and the NFL rumor mill is buzzing like never before. Sources close to the Buffalo Bills hint that DIGGS didn't hold back during a recent interview, targeting none other than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the fallout has been immediate. Fans in Pittsburgh are reportedly seeing red, flooding social media with outrage and memes, calling out DIGGS for crossing a line. The Bills' star receiver, known for his on-field brilliance and confident personality, seems to have embraced the role of provocateur, and the timing couldn't be more combustible. Analysts are already speculating that this could fire up one of the most intense rivalries in the league, with Steelers players themselves likely to respond in kind during upcoming matchups. The chatter isn't just about DIGGS' words. It's about what they could mean for game day. Team insiders suggest that Buffalo could be using this as a psychological strategy, attempting to get under the Steelers' skin before the two teams face off. Whether this backfires or becomes a masterstroke, one thing is clear. DIGGS knows how to dominate conversations off the field as effectively as he does on it. The intensity of the reaction from Pittsburgh fans has been staggering, with forums and Twitter threads lighting up with debates about respect, rivalry, and DIGGS' audacity. Some fans argue that it's all part of the game, a psychological play to gain an edge, while others feel personally insulted, suggesting that DIGGS' comments go beyond the normal competitive banter. Sports radio shows are dissecting every syllable he said, replaying clips repeatedly, and inviting former players to weigh in on whether this crosses the line into disrespect. Meanwhile, rival quarterbacks and wide receivers are rumored to be talking behind the scenes, evaluating if this creates opportunities or risks for their own teams. Betting lines and fantasy projections are also reportedly being influenced, as analysts try to predict if the Steelers' defense will play more aggressively, possibly leading to turnovers, penalties, or even injuries. The ripple effect is enormous. One interview has the potential to impact strategies, fan morale, and even league narratives heading into the heart of the season. Every detail of DIGGS' behavior, body language, and phrasing is under scrutiny, showing how a single moment can ignite an entire fan base. League insiders suggest that this isn't just typical trash talk. DIGGS' comments could be part of a broader, carefully calculated plan to establish dominance, not only on the stat sheet, but in the media narrative. Teams increasingly recognize the power of mind games, and DIGGS, with his fiery personality and social media presence, could be Buffalo's weapon off the field. Analysts are speculating that the Bills might even be testing the psychological limits of the Steelers' roster, hoping to force mistakes or emotional reactions during crucial game situations. Coaches from both teams are reportedly monitoring the fallout, aware that what starts as media banter can easily bleed into real on-field tensions. Reports suggest that locker rooms are buzzing with internal discussions, some players warning against overreacting, while others might see it as motivation to elevate their play. Pundits are even theorizing about potential retaliatory statements or social media jabs, hinting at an escalating back and forth that could dominate headlines for weeks. What's undeniable is that DIGGS has managed to dominate headlines off the field with the same precision and energy he shows when running routes and making contested catches, proving that in the modern NFL, influence extends far beyond game day. Fans in Buffalo are reportedly loving every second of this controversy, sharing clips, memes, and commentary that celebrate DIGGS' fearless approach. The narrative is shifting from simple rivalry to a full-blown media spectacle, with DIGGS at the center as the provocateur who refuses to back down. Sports journalists note that while the Steelers are traditionally a stoic franchise, they now face the challenge of responding to not just DIGGS, but the wave of Buffalo fan fervor that has accompanied his statements. Some observers even suggest that this could alter the dynamic of the rivalry for years to come, shaping interactions, commentary, and expectations for future matchups. Inside sources hint at heated discussions among Steelers leadership about how to handle the situation publicly, balancing the need to show professionalism while also protecting team pride. The timing of the comments, just ahead of a pivotal part of the season, adds layers to the story, ensuring that every practice, meeting, and pre-game press conference will be scrutinized for signs of tension or strategy related to DIGGS provocations. The league itself is reportedly aware of the chatter, monitoring social media trends to assess if this incident could become a larger spectacle or even draw disciplinary attention. Amidst all this, speculation is rampant about DIGGS' motivations and the possible outcomes. Some insiders suggest that this is a calculated play to make the Steelers underestimate him or the Bills, while others see it as pure emotion from a player who thrives on competition and thrives in high-pressure scenarios. Analysts are debating whether DIGGS' comments could psychologically unsettle key Steelers defenders or if it will backfire, motivating them to elevate their game in response. The unpredictability adds to the drama. Fans, pundits, and insiders are all theorizing about possible outcomes, from heated on-field confrontations to post-game press conference fireworks. Fantasy football owners are also watching closely, debating whether Steelers' defensive performance could be affected, potentially boosting or hurting fantasy points. Social media sentiment analysis shows a sharp divide between fan bases, creating a polarized discussion that keeps DIGGS trending daily. All signs point to a storyline that refuses to fade, with the intensity of reactions signaling that this is more than a passing news cycle. It's a narrative that could define the early part of the season for both teams, capturing national attention and fueling discussions in sports media across platforms. Finally, the ripple effects extend beyond fans and analysts into potential team dynamics. Locker room morale, leadership strategies, and even practice intensity could be influenced by DIGGS' remarks, with coaches needing to manage emotions carefully to maintain focus and discipline. Rumors indicate that Steelers veterans might convene to address the comments internally, reinforcing team unity while preparing for the next encounter with Buffalo. Meanwhile, DIGGS' teammates appear energized by the attention, possibly feeding off the increased media focus as motivation to perform at an even higher level. Commentators are framing this as a modern example of psychological warfare in the NFL, where words and social media presence carry nearly as much weight as touchdowns and sacks. What started as a provocative interview has grown into a full-scale storyline that will likely unfold over several weeks, with each team carefully calibrating responses to maintain competitive advantage. If history is any guide, this rivalry is about to get louder, more intense, and more unpredictable, with STEFFON Diggs positioned squarely at the eye of the storm, proving once again that he's not just a playmaker on the field, but a master of controlling the narrative off it. As the story continues to unfold, insiders suggest that Steelers players are quietly plotting their response, both on and off the field. Locker room sources hint at heated discussions among defensive leaders, debating whether to respond with heightened aggression during games or to maintain composure to avoid giving DIGGS and the Bills any advantage. Some suggest that this tension could influence play calling, with defensive coordinators possibly adjusting schemes specifically to counter DIGGS' routes and tendencies. Analysts speculate that this psychological chess match could reach a peak during crucial moments of the upcoming matchups, where emotions run high and every decision is magnified. Fans on social media are already dissecting every possible scenario, creating memes, predictions, and what-if threads that keep the buzz alive around DIGGS' provocative remarks. Even former players are weighing in, debating the potential consequences for both teams' standings, playoff aspirations, and locker room dynamics. It seems that one player's words have ignited a ripple effect that reaches far beyond the media headlines, touching aspects of strategy, preparation, and fan engagement in ways rarely seen in modern NFL storylines. DIGGS' ability to influence both narrative and competitive intensity is becoming a focal point of discussion among insiders and enthusiasts alike. Reports indicate that DIGGS himself is reveling in the chaos, fully aware of the storm he's stirred. Sources close to the Buffalo Bills suggest that teammates are feeding off his energy, with practice sessions reportedly marked by elevated intensity, sharper focus, and a heightened sense of competition. Analysts note that this could be part of a deliberate approach by Buffalo's coaching staff to harness media attention as motivation, creating a narrative where the team is united against external critics and rival provocateurs. Observers point out that DIGGS' comments may have inadvertently provided a psychological edge for the Bills, with players channeling the controversy into increased preparation and determination. Social media metrics show unprecedented engagement, with Buffalo fans sharing clips, memes, and posts praising DIGGS for his audacity, while Steelers fans simultaneously mobilize to defend their team, creating a digital war zone that mirrors the potential intensity on the field. The dynamic has sparked speculation that future games between these teams could feature not just physical battles, but also a mental chess match, with players reacting to perceived slights and strategic provocations, making each matchup more unpredictable and ensuring that STEFFON Diggs' influence extends well beyond his on-field contributions. Meanwhile, rumors suggest that NFL executives are monitoring the situation closely, aware that the attention surrounding Diggs and the Steelers could escalate further. League insiders hint at potential concerns over player conduct, public statements, and fan reactions, especially as tensions rise in both locker rooms. Analysts speculate that the league may step in to ensure that the rivalry doesn't spill over into unsafe or unsportsmanlike behavior, though it's unclear if any official statements or interventions are imminent. Media outlets continue to amplify every comment, replaying interviews, and analyzing the tone, context, and potential impact of Diggs' remarks, ensuring the narrative remains in the spotlight. Betting analysts and fantasy experts are also adjusting projections, considering how heightened emotions could affect performance, turnovers, and scoring opportunities. This combination of psychological, strategic, and fan-driven factors has created a unique situation where a single player's words may have tangible consequences on games, team dynamics, and league narratives. In essence, what started as offhand comments has evolved into a complex web of speculation, strategy, and storytelling that captures the imagination of football fans nationwide. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Insider chatter further suggests that this feud could influence contract talks, sponsorships, and personal branding for Diggs, who has become a central figure in the narrative. Analysts note that players who generate media attention, positively or negatively, often leverage it for broader influence, and Diggs' outspoken nature may enhance his status as a marquee player beyond statistics alone. The Steelers, meanwhile, face pressure to respond effectively without losing focus on their season objectives, creating a tension between maintaining professionalism and defending team pride. Fans are divided. Some admire Diggs' boldness, while others criticize it as unnecessary provocation. Social media sentiment analysis reveals sharp contrast between Buffalo and Pittsburgh supporters, creating digital firestorms that sustain discussion over days and weeks. Commentators argue that the modern NFL has shifted towards storytelling and media presence as much as on-field performance, and Diggs exemplifies this phenomenon. The interplay of competitive skill, personality, and media savvy highlights a new frontier in sports dynamics, where a player's influence extends beyond the gridiron and into culture, perception, and rivalry narratives that captivate audiences far and wide. Additionally, rumors from Steelers insiders indicate strategic adjustments in preparation for Diggs' impact. Defensive coordinators may focus on schemes specifically designed to neutralize him, potentially changing coverage patterns, blitz strategies, and assignments to limit his production. Meanwhile, coaches are reportedly emphasizing mental resilience, aiming to prevent frustration from turning into costly penalties or mistakes. Analysts predict that these adjustments could affect the flow of the game, potentially opening opportunities for other Bills players if the focus becomes too heavily concentrated on Diggs. Fans and media alike are speculating about whether this heightened attention will elevate the overall competitiveness of the matchup, or if it risks creating a volatile environment that affects performance negatively. The psychological undercurrents are becoming just as compelling as the physical competition, with every practice, press conference, and social media posts feeding the narrative. This saga illustrates how a single player, through charisma, confidence, and calculated provocation, can shape the narrative of a rivalry, forcing teams, fans, and even the league to respond, adapt, and anticipate. STEFFON DIGGS' influence, therefore, transcends mere statistics, embodying the modern fusion of athletic skill and media-driven spectacle. Finally, the long-term implications of this feud are already being debated among analysts and insiders. Some predict that DIGGS' actions could redefine how rivalries are perceived, with players increasingly using media commentary as a tool to gain psychological leverage. Others caution that overexposure and escalating tensions may carry risks for both performance and public perception, with the potential to backfire if emotions spiral out of control. Fans, coaches, and executives are all navigating this complex landscape where strategy, personality, and media presence intertwine, creating a multi-layered storyline that extends beyond a single season. As the Bills-Steelers narrative unfolds, every play, comment, and social media post will be scrutinized for signs of reaction, retaliation, or momentum shifts. This is more than a typical rivalry. It's a case study in modern sports psychology, media influence, and competitive dynamics. In the center of it all, STEFFON DIGGS continues to command attention, demonstrating that the game is no longer just about touchdowns and catches. It's also about narrative control, fan engagement, and the power of a single voice to shape a season-long story that captivates audiences, fuels debates, and keeps the NFL talking long after the whistle blows. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.